A bad mood or a passing grudge might be a dubious luxury for a normal person, but for an alcoholic, those emotions act as a highly concentrated poison. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Harboring a grudge systematically shuts the alcoholic off from the sunlight of the spirit. Once that connection is severed, their mental defenses fail, and the insanity that leads to the first drink inevitably returns. And the physical stakes of that relapse are absolute. For the true alcoholic, to drink is to die. Surviving alcoholism requires a secondary, equally urgent action. The alcoholic must actively hunt down and neutralize the anger festering inside them. How exactly do you stop being angry on command, especially when someone has genuinely wronged you? The solution is to treat deep emotional trauma with the cold, calculating logic of a commercial business. A business that fails to regularly audit its inventory for damaged goods goes broke. To avoid spiritual bankruptcy, the alcoholic has to take stock of their life using that exact same method. This is a 3-column ledger. To conduct the audit, the alcoholic writes out their resentments on paper, using this structure to organize the chaos of human emotion into a clean, readable spreadsheet. The first 2 columns are strict fact-finding. In column 1, you list who you are angry at: a person, an institution, a principle. In column 2, you record the cause. What exactly did they do to injure you? The third column is where you diagnose the damage. Here, the alcoholic identifies what specific part of their ego was threatened by the offense. Was it a blow to their self-esteem, their financial security, their personal ambitions? Anger rarely exists in a vacuum. By mapping a grudge onto a physical ledger, an abstract, messy emotion is exposed for what it really is: a highly specific, quantifiable threat to the ego. When the alcoholic steps back and looks at this completed list in stark black and white, an uncomfortable truth emerges. They realize that even in cases where the other person is entirely in the wrong, fighting back and holding on to that grudge only makes their own situation worse. Harboring resentment strips the alcoholic of their autonomy. It allows the world and the specific people who wronged them to dominate their mind. Clinging to a sense of justified anger is a fatal surrender. It gives an outside party the literal power to kill the alcoholic by driving them back to the bottle. If the injury is real and the anger is lethal, how do you actually let it go? The solution requires a reclassification of the offender. Instead of an enemy, they become someone who is spiritually sick themselves. The protocol outlines a specific mental action. Ask your higher power for the ability to show those offenders the exact same tolerance, pity, and patience you would cheerfully grant to a severely ill friend. Viewing an offender as a patient neutralizes the emotional charge of the injury. It bypasses the instinct to retaliate or argue. The alcoholic who completes this inventory and adopts this new view finds that their focus has moved from their grievances to their own recovery. This entire exercise exists to clear away the emotional debris that blocks a spiritual awakening. It has nothing to do with letting a bad person off the hook. By auditing their resentments and changing how they view their past, the alcoholic takes back their power. They step out of the shadows, walk back into the sunlight, and save their own life.